skill.
So are you gonna do play a Jugga Rogue there, Imp?
I might make one an NPC just to piss you off.
Oh, I will set it
Have
on
it
fire.
have it follow you around, be completely immune to fire. Hey, what's that? How's that work?
I will just fucking cast level 15 magnets on it and blow its mind.
How
For
do
the
those work?
monsters that we're going to be fighting, is like the type of damage dealt going to be a major thing?
Some of
Like,
them it will be. For instance, like they had something that they fought a while back that they were using fire damage on that was just making the thing stronger. So-
By something he means an ice zombie.
That's right.
Yeah.
well, I was kind of like implying like type of damage, like piercing, bludgeoning.
Generally I don't give a shit, unless there's just a known, like, thing that's not gonna really do a whole lot of damage to, like, slicing damage doesn't do a whole lot of damage to skeletons, because there's not really, anything there to cut, but
I
bludgeoning,
don't think you can. Can you bludgeon a gelatinous cube?
I don't know. I
No,
usually,
think it just- I think it just
it's
jiggles.
piercing and slashing that it's up
yeah,
against.
that's right.
Oh, okay.
I tend to just kind of look at whatever the monster manual has, so I do take it into account.
Because I got like 4 weapons, one for each.
Right on.
Night.
I'm still scrolling back.
Yeah, no worries. I'm not. I mean, the stream's going, but I'm not worried about starting anything yet, and nobody's fucking there.
Here's a weapon I want to engineer. Can you pressurize a bag of holding?
I don't even want to know where you're going with that.
Just that's all you need. If you can pressurize a bag of holding, the imagination takes over.
No, you're not getting any bag of holdings, weapons of mass destruction. Sorry.
One single tier.
Did you see that arrow somebody
Yeah,
engineered?
yeah. The portable hole, like, rolled up into a tube, and yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that. Have you seen the peasant railgun?
I don't know
No,
if I've seen the.
I have
So,
not.
so what the peasant railgun is you line up 500 peasants in a row, and in the very last one, you hand a pole, and in one turn, you have them all take their action, which is to pass the pole to the next person. And since an action only takes 3 seconds, it goes from the 500th one way at the end to the one way at the beginning within 3 seconds, and then they just throw it, and it's got all this momentum behind it. It's a peasant railgun.
That is hilarious and silly as shit.
It is silly as shit. Oh. Alright, so you guys are in Freeport. Yes?
Damn it.
Let me get Freeport map
I
pulled
think-
up here.
Technically, I think I'm probably currently on my ship.
You're currently on your ship. Are you docked at Freeport?
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
Dr. Freeport is still my general residence.
Okay, so the Freeport map is still relevant, so that's all I need.
Yeah. I'm not pulling like a.
Like, no, fuck you, I'm in Helens.
I'm
Like, you
not
son of a
pulling
bitch.
Neko, and I'm like, I'm getting on this boat, peace.
Bye, guys.
Have fun on your desert island somewhere.
Right, never to be seen again.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I
I
can't.
wonder
I
what
can't
he's
find
up
it.
to now.
I can't find
I
it.
think he's been the character. He got ate by
He's-
cannibals, I'm sure.
He's marooned.
Oh yeah, no, I know what Gary's up to, but yeah, I mean his character.
He got eaten by cannibals.
Didn't he have like 2 wolves or something?
I don't
Like
remember.
that.
But anyway, so it has been 5 years since our last game in World, and the adventurers got their collars removed through some shady antics with a wannabe pirate captain, and disbanded. They had no reason to kind of hold together any longer. Sounds like Dr. Vitus has stuck around Freeport, made a little bit of a name for himself, got a ship, and is doing some interesting things. And we've got some new people playing this time around, and I will let them go through and introduce themselves and say a little bit about themselves. The new people, I should say new characters. We have 1 new person and 4 new characters. So we'll start off with, let's just start with Steve. Steve, who and what are you playing?
Steve.
All right, so
A level
my
5
character's
Steve.
level 5 Steve. I'm so UP. No.
Got like floors and everything.
I get
Um,
tired after a couple of laps, guys. Wait up.
wait for me. So my character's name is Sharon Salloil. He's originally from, I had the map was up earlier, and I was like, that's what I'm gonna use to
Oh, hang on, let me pull it back up for you. Sorry.
He's originally from Fraymore. He was part of a family that the previous character Yonder was kind of taken care of. He grew up and hopped on a boat to find Yonder and his friends and go on adventures with them, and has kind of like lost sight of that in his, he's been doing it for 5 years and hasn't seen any of them, but he's still kind of hoping.
All right.
He's a druid and makes his living on a boat by
He's on a boat.
the winds and the waves.
Don't
It's
you
a
ever
good-
forget.
It's a good place for druids to be. There's a lot of nature on boats.
Yeah.
You're
Mostly
around
water, but that's
right,
nature.
but it still counts.
He's specifically a sea druid.
It's a sea druid. He wasn't a B student. Just kind of average.
Ah.
And the ball is rolling.
All right, Cypher. Who and what are you playing?
Okay. Just I can't find the cheat sheet. I've been trying. Okay, so the character that I am playing, his name is Corvo Shadowrunner. He is yes, I chose that name on purpose. He is a scholar. Spends most of his time in all those dungy, musty bookstores and tomes and whatnot, looking for forbidden and lost knowledge. He would have ended up in the Freeport, obviously, as he travels wherever he can to find places where books and tomes and scrolls and the like would have been stored. Considering that it is a port city, knowledge from other parts of the world would have eventually ended up here, or so he thinks. So that is why he ended up in Freeport and is scouring the port side at the different places, looking for anything that might be hidden away or scrolled away or lost or forgotten.
All right. Goat, what are you playing?
Yes. Well, I am Goat, and I am playing Aesir Rain, who has earned the name Debaucher. I am the survivor of a ship that was attacked while I was transporting my family from the bad country / city they were at, because right now the world is there's a lot of cities that are at war with each other, and I was earning the cash to transport my family out of there. Ship was attacked by privateers, most of the crew slain. I was keel-hauled and left for dead, and I have survived to basically come to Freeport to seek my revenge, and the best way to do that is to try to find the infamous Dr. Vitus, who is renowned to be a nefarious, if incredibly effective, privateer / pirate. I want to try to sign on with his crew to get revenge for my slain family.
To be fair, let me interrupt you there. No one knows Dr. Vitus is a pirate.
Right, I'm trying.
I have
I
a
don't know what your
dual
alias
identity.
is, so whatever
Okay,
Dr.
that's
Vitus's alias's name is, that's who I'm looking for.
You're not so you're not seeking Dr. V. You're seeking the pirate alias.
The pirate alias to be
Okay.
named later.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
No, we can make that like a vote.
that is his name, the
in-
pirate
in
alias.
Chat. Like what my pirate name
What is
should
this,
be.
the Princess Bride?
Yes.
Yeah. I could just be
Yeah,
the
that's exactly what I was
pirate.
thinking.
The
Like-
Dread Pirate to be named
Bob
later.
Dread.
I personally find that inconceivable.
Get it.
Nice.
And we've got our new player, and the new voice in the game is Anna. So Anna, tell us who and what you're playing.
My character's name is Brielle Nystan, and she is Dragonborn, Gold Dragon. She was a member of a clan that was completely wiped out. I haven't developed much of a backstory yet, obviously. But she was raised by a wood elf who was slightly retarded, and they went on little adventures, and she's picked up a lot of retarded traits. And
Can we make that a custom skill?
Retard.
I wanted
Is that a tongue?
I wanted some
You get
claws,
advantage
but they
on
didn't have
retard
very
checks?
many. But I like to open doors, by the way.
With your face?
On my face.
You'll fit in
That's right.
perfectly.
Like,
You
Welcome.
never go full dragon.
it's compulsively.
Yeah,
She has to
exactly.
open every door 3 times.
Good one, Steve. Never go full dragon, man. Never go full dragon.
All right, so
So should I catch people up in the many life changes of the aging Dr. V?
yeah, go right ahead.
Yes.
It is so Dr. V, after the collar was removed, he kind of felt at home in Freeport. He kind of felt like this is the city of artists and scumbags. He kind of felt like he found a place that would understand him. But the problem with settling down and being a grifter is that even despite my illusionary abilities, most people started getting my grifts. They started recognizing me. Not a lot of people were falling for it. I had to just sort of prey on the newcomers and prey on the people coming into port, and the Pirate Council was not super fond of that because that also started becoming well known as, hey, there's that scumbag stealing all of our new people's money. So I became kind of a master of disguise over the years through practice, and have developed a second personality, which for the sake of conversation at the moment we're going to call the Dread Pirate Voberts. And
I think that should stick. I think you should just be the Dread Pirate Bobberts.
Canon now.
It is.
And so some people have associated Dr. Vitus as being part of this crew, which I think we're going to have to call that ship either the SS Asspole or
Long live Aspel. Hashtag Aspel.
hashtag Asspole. Swag of holding.
Bottom drow.
It just has swag of holding and gold leaf across the side of it. Because a lot of people in town keep seeing Dr. V enter this pirate ship and then not leave it for weeks. Little do they know that he is actually taking the identity of the Dread Pirate Voberts whenever he's, staying in port, using that identity to kind of do some running, do a little bit of high seas treachery on the folk. So some people, like the Dread Pirate Voberts, have started to get a bit of a reputation at this point. So he's starting to think it may be about time just to up anchor and leave port.
Dread Pirate Bobberts has gotten to the point where he's gotten the interest of the the Captain's Council,
Yeah.
and so they're actually
it's a V,
asking.
by the way.
They're
Voberts.
Bobberts.
Voberts.
Voberts. Okay, but they're asking favors of him now, and he's starting to
It's
attract
starting
their attention
to
as
feel
well.
a little too legit, and it's making his skin crawl.
Okay.
How fucked up is it that Vitus feels that piracy is a little too legit?
No. Not that piracy
Don't
is,
quit.
but now a legitimate government organization is like, you're an okay guy by our book. We can trust you with things. And I'm like, can you though? Flips a table. Should you though?
Really, it's a bad idea. I mean,
Right.
to be completely honest.
I'm giving off he's starting to get the impression that he's giving off the air of trustworthiness, and that's not okay.
God.
But
So-
that's sort of where he is now. He's still being a man about town. He's still kind of known in the Actors Guild around town as Dr. V. And then as jobs come in and as boredom sets in, he'll go to his ship and change personas to go stir shit up.
That being the case, and everybody's kind of in Freeport, you've been here for probably a while. You're at least settled. You know your way around town. Can kind of find stuff. You do notice that the day and night cycle has begun to change in Freeport and the surrounding areas, where your nights are lasting 36 hours of complete darkness, or you may have 12 hours of daylight and then 24 hours of darkness, but the day-night cycle is completely foobarred at this point. And that has definitely gotten everybody's attention, as it would, because this is not something that happens on a regular basis in Freeport. As weird as the town may be, that's not a common occurrence. So I'm just going to go down the line here, and we'll start and figure out what you guys are up to and what you're doing about it. So Steve, what are you doing that now that you've noticed that the past couple days? You first say, all right, maybe it was an odd weather phenomenon or something, but this has gone on for about a week now.
All right. I'm probably gonna be asking around in town if there's, because I come here pretty regularly, so I probably know a few of the other sailors that are around here. I'm kind of seen as the wise weather guy of my ship, so I probably am
And here's
He's the weatherman.
Do you have a bad tie that you wear?
yeah. So if I don't, yeah, if I don't get up in front of my green screen and tell people what's happening, then shit's gonna go down. So I've got to figure out what's going on quick, so I won't look bad. So I'm probably gonna see if there are any other nature-y type folk in town that I can consult with, or any clues that I can gain from carefully observing the weather.
Well, that means that Gingy is Ron Burgundy and he's Brick. That's what that means.
Yeah. Actually, I think I have a spell or something called it's like commune with nature or something, where I can sort of maybe gain an insight to this.
You talking about Druidcraft?
Well, Druidcraft will predict the weather, so that'll just tell me that shit's fucked up.
Shit is indeed fucked up.
It's like
so.
a
I'll be
mechanic
this does not
gypsy
make
machine that just cranks out a ticket.
Yeah.
The ticket comes out, shit's fucked up.
It doesn't tell me why the weather is a certain way. It'll just tell me that the weather is a certain way.
Okay. I'm looking for it right now just so I can make sure what information to give you out of that. So give me just a second here. Here we go. Alright, so that is a ritual. Yeah, that one's it's a short one. It only takes you a minute to cast. You know that the weather has been fucked up because of I'm trying to think of the best way to. There's definitely something missing. The normal entity that would keep day and night on its regular cycle is missing.
Carmen Sandiego stole the moon.
The kind of. So the deity that is usually responsible for keeping things on track is no longer there. You have in your commune and in your research, you've seen this vision of this ghostly figure riding a horse that just has kind of popped up and then kind of in your visions during your ritual. That's probably the best way.
And
to do it.
it's nothing that I recognize.
No, it's
or seen before.
roll me an intelligence check real quick.
Okay. Is this an intelligence save?
No, just you should have a die just by your intelligence.
It's under a column called save.
Let's look. For those of you watching, we are this is our first session. There we go. That's the word with 5th Ed. So we are still figuring things out here. Let's see. I'm gonna roll one and see if that's what I wanted from you. Hang on. Stop that. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted.
Okay.
I think.
What do the two numbers represent? Lowest, it's advantage and disadvantage?
Yeah, it always rolls 2d20s for you now.
There's disadvantage. Well, that disadvantage roll was much higher than the advantage. Kind of confusing.
Right, and if you're not at a disadvantage or at an advantage, I'm just gonna take the first number. So in Steve's case, a 9.
Yep.
So yeah, as far as you know, it's a spectral hooded figure riding a horse that just kind of shows up in your vision.
Cool.
All right, Cypher, what is Corvo doing as he's noticed this odd change in the weather?
Well, how long has this been happening?
It's been going on for about the last week.
Okay, so I'd say for the first probably couple days, he wouldn't have noticed because he'd have been so busy being inside and underground and whatnot for hours at a time. He'd go in, come back out, not realize how much time had passed, and continue. But after the course of, let's say, 4 or 5 days, where he noticed that this is actually kind of getting strange, first thing he would have done would be to go to the let me take a look at the map so I can get an idea of where he would have to go if you actually have it on the map. No, okay, he would go, I guess, into Old City, looking for the town records. I'm assuming he'd be familiar with where the repository of city information would be.
Yeah, and that's actually in the Eastern District. That's
Okay.
where all the municipal buildings and offices are.
All right, well then he would go there and start researching to see if there was a history of this kind of an event that has happened over the course of, say, the last 100 years.
Okay, so you get into the municipal records building, and it's full of just tomes like you would expect, and you spend a couple days poring over like weather patterns and almanacs and records of Freeport, and don't really see anything in the recorded history that shows any kind of semblance like this. Freeport, in and of itself, as a city, has only officially been established for the last 5 years. But there was a city here before that, but it just was not recognized as a legitimate city-state. It's only been officially recognized for the last 5 years.
So the information that I have available is only about Freeport and not about the place that was here prior to that?
Right.
Okay. And where was that information destroyed? Was it just where would that have?
It wasn't really
Was it
kept
even
real
recorded?
well. Yeah, it wasn't recorded real well because it wasn't, this wasn't an official place. It was more of a pirate hideout than
Okay.
it was a city. Prior to it becoming, a recognized city-state. So
Okay.
about the time that Dr. Vitus arrived was about the time that it got recognized as a city-state. In fact, the lighting of Milton's
welcome,
Folly
by
lighthouse was lit the day that it was recognized as a city-state.
Okay.
Did I get like a key to the city or anything?
You did not.
It's like, because I'll wear it daily. I'll just walk around town, like, just pointing at it every time I make eye contact with people.
But yeah, the Freeport has only really been established for the last 5 years or so. Before that, it was, a pirate holdover and somewhere where, you could lay low and be a pirate and nobody asked any questions. So,
Okay.
but as far as the almanacs and records that you do find, no, there's not been any kind of record of any kind of weather phenomenon like this in the past.
I didn't take that spell, did I? Probably not. Let me verify that real quick. That'd be like a level 4. No, I don't think I took that spell because there's a chance of going insane if I cast it. So that would be why I didn't fucking take it.
Sounds like a reasonable spell.
Or a great reason to take it.
You just
I
gotta
have-
roll a d6. You'll be alright.
Yeah, basically. No, there was a spell that you could contact an entity in another plane of existence and ask questions. But there was a chance of making contact where you go crazy for a period of time because of the fact that you made contact with this otherworldly entity.
Sounds
Still
reasonable.
wait for the downside.
I was thinking about taking it, but I'm like, in the middle of combat, that's not going to do us very good. So
You become a gibbering idiot, crapping your pants in the corner, like, well,
pretty much, it says something like you can't do anything for a period of time because you're fucking insane. So, okay, since the information that I'm looking for is not available in text, then I guess the next thing would be to start hitting the bar side or the dock side bars to try and see if I can scrounge up some information, talking to the old sailors and whatnot that are there to see if they've seen anything like this.
Okay. So none of them really recall ever seeing anything similar. In fact, it's kind of unnerving to all of them. But there's one that is particularly drunk. It's probably the best way to say it. So, he's slurring his words, drooling on himself a little bit. Probably, has some stains on his lap from either beer or something else. He's like, hey, I don't know about any weather phenomenons, but there's
Buga phenomenon, these nuts.
there's been this guy riding his horse through the walls around town. That's not right. Somebody should stop him. Doesn't he know that fucking physics and walls and horses don't work?
Magnets, how do they work? All right. A horse? Now, am I talking to this person directly, or am I overhearing this conversation with
No,
someone else?
he heard you questioning other patrons and just came up and offered the information belligerently.
Okay. Well, I will offer to buy this guy a drink so I can hear more about this tale of a horseman floating through walls.
The bartender looks at you and looks at the guy you're wanting to buy the drink from. He just kind of like shrugs, like, all right, what if he dies? I'm taking this out on you, kind of like I'm not responsible for this guy getting alcohol poisoning. And he gives the guy, the drink that you order, and the guy's like, yeah, I've seen this horseman all around town. And he rides through buildings and never stops for anybody, and then thunk, the guy's head hits the table, and he just starts snoring loudly.
Okay, so he's not dead. He's just unconscious.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, he said downtown, so I guess that leaves a large section for me to investigate. So that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to head in that direction.
Okay. Goat, what are you doing?
Apparently my head just hit the table and I passed out drunk. Oh, that wasn't me. Sorry. Just seemed so like you were looking into my soul. Well, normally when I'd arrived in town, because all I've got is the gear on my back, which is not in the best shape, so I'd been trying to get by on coppers a day, working odd jobs that a sailor can get by with on the docks without actually being a member of the crew. But I guess I've been casually picking up on the oddity of the rumors of day and noticing that the day and night cycles are kind of messed up. So I would say I'd honestly been intensifying my search for the actual current ship of the Red Pirate Roberts.
All right.
The Rad Pirate Roberts.
Rad? Oh, it's Rad? I'm sorry.
The Rad Pirate Roberts.
I will correct that in my notes. Rad.
So,
Rad.
Gingy, how distinctive is Roberts' ship? Is this something I would be able to spot from across the port?
It is painted black.
Okay.
Like, it is black. And whenever water washes it away and raw wood starts to be exposed, he'll touch that shit up. This ship is black.
All right.
The ship is black. The sails are black. Unless the sails are magically tuned to the nations of other people from time to time.
I didn't think your ship had sails.
Well, I don't want it to be known that I'm basically using magic slaves to sail it, or to oar it, and that only helps in certain conditions. If the wind is in my favor, I'm going to use the sails.
Okay.
I've got to use some kind of concentration to keep up the magic oaring, and maybe I want to take a nap.
All right.
But so like black. It's black and it has just the glimmeriest fake gold inlays of the ship name, like glittering across it at all times.
Okay. So it'll probably take you a day and a half walking the piers to eventually spot the ship that you're looking for.
Occasionally, I'm seen on the ship with a magic T-shirt cannon. Like anytime someone's looking at it, I just like point at them, be like.
So it'll probably take you a day and a half of walking, up, and that's if what you're doing is just dedicated searching for it the whole time.
Yes, so I couldn't do that because I have no cash. I need to earn some coppers, so I couldn't dedicate every waking moment to doing it because there's not a lot of money in Revenge to dedicate like a third of the daytime to doing it.
Okay, so in that case, it'll probably take you about a week walking up and down and just meticulously moving from east to west across the docks. Like, oh, there it is. You finally were able to spot it, but because of that length of time, you didn't get really any research done into the weather phenomenon that's going on. Okay, Anna, what about your character? What's she been doing?
Well, she's not a town person. She likes to be out and away from the people because of obviously the way she looks. But she's noticed that obviously the differences in the daylight and stuff, and looking around the town because she's trying to figure out what's going on. She really doesn't want to go into town, so she's pretty much explored all around the city, and she's eventually coming into town. So if she finds anything she wants to explore or strikes her fancy, she will investigate that. She's very curious, so if she finds anything out there, she's going to investigate that. If not, she's going to work her way into town. Okay. And she's probably going to do it at night because she's just doesn't like to be around a lot of people.
Okay. And at night, a lot of Freeport, because it's now this, officially recognized city-state, has tried to clean up its act a little bit. So a good bit of the city is quiet at night. So you are able to kind of get around the city and have it to yourself. The only area that's really, I don't want to say lively, but seems to have a pulse at night is Scurvy Town.
Scurvy Town.
And it's really just the slums, and this is where everybody there has an addiction or has a reason that they're not in the other part of the town, be it because of they rather associate themselves with the dirtier aspects of pirateering. These are the people that will probably key haul and Shanghai people for a gold. So that part of town is got some things going on in it at night. The rest of the city's kind of quiet.
It's currently where the ex-wife is docked.
Is in Scurvy Town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Outside of Scurvy Town, the ex-wife is sitting.
That's what you named your ship, the X-Wife?
I'm going with the ex-wife, yeah.
So is that an area you think you'd end up in, or you think you'd probably stick to maybe the quieter aspects of the city?
Well, if she would feel comfortable, like if people weren't like pointing and staring and stuff, she would probably feel comfortable there.
Yeah, Scurvy
you
Town,
go.
everybody kind of stays to themselves and minds their own business unless they're robbing you or something.
Yeah, that would.
I would wonder if anybody who saw her would spread word of her presence to me, since in recent years, and this is just me trying to utilize the differences with 5th Ed into my character, since I am now, by 5th Ed rules, a Golden Dragon disciple, and has been magically fighting to make that not visible, but at this level the scales are showing.
Yeah.
Like, my skin is glistening, and it has gold dragon armor on it. He does his best to, like, keep that concealed, but it makes me wonder if anybody would link 2 and 2 together, because that's both a rare-ass thing.
Well,
Two seemingly partial golden dragons.
Dragonkin are very rare in Tenet, so I'm assuming you have people that you employ on lookouts for things like that. Either Dr. Vitus does or Voberts does.
No, Voberts is not that flushed out.
So.
Like, Dr. V is still the one anybody in town knows. As far as Captain Voberts goes, most people just know to avoid that ship. Like, like Captain Voberts doesn't. You won't see him walking around town very often.
Right. Okay. In that case, yeah, it's after a few days of Anna's character, or a few nights of Anna's character being in town, you definitely get, hey, there's another one of something like you walking around.
I posted the link to that cheat sheet in the Skype thing, by the way.
Thank you very much for that.
So yeah, Gingy, you've definitely gotten some notifications that, hey, there's a Dragonborn walking around. That's kind of odd.
Word on the street.
Yeah.
Like, because at this point, Dr. V is kind of embarrassed about because he doesn't want to be treated that differently. He doesn't want to be identified that easily. So he does his best to magically conceal the scales. But, there will be moments that maybe he had 3 too many drinks at Scurvy Town and he lets his magical guard down and people are like, oh shit, look, whoa, shiny man.
Shiny man.
Mr. Shiny Man.
Look at that Dr. Shineman. Dr. Shineman, MD.
Dr. Shinesman.
It's an honorary English doctorate. I'm just not spreading it around.
And roll me a perception. I think it all got lumped into perception now.
Me?
Okay.
No, Anna.
She.
It should be under your skills. I need to pull up one.
Okay, so how do I roll that?
There should be like a dice icon out to the right of it.
Okay.
It is under
Or
skills.
left, rather.
Third one
There you go.
down, second column.
Perfect. All right. So you do notice that there was somebody that that saw you and just kind of took off. Like, oh, I have to go tell somebody about this.
Well, I'm gonna follow him,
Okay.
or try to anyway. I'm not really stealthy.
He's not really like trying to not be followed either. So he and Dr. Vitus, does Dr. Vitus have his own shop or is he on his ship?
Dr. Vitus, I'd say at this point probably has
Or a house,
like
rather.
some kind of a. No, he does not have a house.
Okay.
Those sort of attachments make him feel weird, but I would say I've at least established enough of frequent fences to where I'm seen working shops, if not owning a shop.
Okay. So the guy that you're following, Anna, eventually makes his way to a shop, knocks on the door. You know, the door cracks open just a little bit because it's the middle of the night, and then the door is opened and the guy is led into this little shop. And Gingy, this is the guy coming to notify you that hey, there's a dragonborn in town. It's a gold dragon, kind of walking around. It's a little weird. So Anna, do you want to follow him to the shop, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll follow him to the shop
Okay.
and just walk around the shop, try to figure it out.
Oh, you'll be noticed if you go in the shop. We're definitely outside of hours.
Like, is it? Are they open for business or?
No, it's the middle of the night. Shop's closed.
Yeah. I'm not going to the shop, obviously.
Okay.
But I'll hang around, maybe. Slide in the gutter and just sit there for a while.
Okay. Are you wearing like a cowl or a hood or anything, or are you just
Yeah,
kind
a
of?
cloak.
Okay.
Cloak with hood. Yeah.
All right, Genji. So, guy knocks on your door. It's one of your informants, and he goes, you let him in, and he goes, hey, there's this gold biped dragon walking around Scurvy Town. You know anything about this?
At this point, when he is let in, I'm basically half listening as I walk back upstairs because I am sitting half outside of a window with like 4 or 5 tomes open with a brass anemometer out the window measuring, like looking for weather distortions.
Okay.
Because at this point, he can't find anything magically blatantly so far about the like weather inconsistencies. So he basically took like 3 brass cups and made an anemometer. How the fuck do you say it? A fucking wind measurer.
Anemometer? Gotcha.
An anemometer.
Anemometer.
Yes. Yeah. An anemometer out the window because at this point he's listening, but because he's a man who's magically minded, the day-night cycle being jacked up has got his full attention.
Okay.
Like that is obvious and wigging him out. Like Captain Voberts has not been seen for a few days. The ship hasn't moved for a few days. Dr. V has been locked up in this and been seen like at various points of the city where sunrise and sunset can be like most easily observed, and is just either communing with Wee Joss in any way, even though they're not real close anymore, or just actually scientifically trying to like measure things with instruments.
Okay.
So he's listening to this, but it arcs an eyebrow, but it doesn't really phase him from what he's researching. Like there's like he hears like, holy crap, I think I saw a dragonkin in town. I'm like, oh yeah, that's neat. And he's just still nose deep in his book.
Okay. So the guy will be a little insulted that he was dismissed so offhandedly, but he, Dr. V pays him fairly well, so he will just be like, all right, whatever, and he will leave you to your studies. And a few minutes later, after you follow this guy to the shop, the door opens up. The same guy, walks out.
Well, I'm gonna pick him up and grab him and
Scoop him like a kitten.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I can, right?
Yeah. And he is not a fighter. He's just some, smarmy little rat. So he's gonna pee himself and be like, I didn't do anything.
Well, I'm gonna question him on why he noticed me and then ran off.
Roll me intimidate.
Intimidate.
And you'll be at an advantage for it. All right, so 21. Yeah, you intimidated the shit out of him.
Literally.
Literally.
Bring me my brown pets.
That's right. He goes, Well, there's this guy in the shop that has the same kind of almost skin thing stuff going on, and he wanted to know weird stuff, and I don't know, and he passes out.
Lovely. I take all his stuff and leave him in the guy.
All right, so you get a ratty shirt and some ratty shorts.
You have just inherited some poop pants.
That's
Congratulations.
right. Congratulations.
You never know.
Hey, I pay him well. He might have had some coin on him.
You know what? That's a good point. Let me.
I probably didn't pay him right now because Dr. V is fucking like the Earth is broken. He's focused.
Yeah. He does have 7 gold on him. But at least before he passed out, he did indicate which shop. Although you saw him go into it, so it's not a big deal. But he wasn't lying about which shop it was.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hang around and try to get a glimpse of this guy myself. I'm not gonna actually go in there yet.
Okay, roll me a perception check. You do notice, because Dr. V is now really trying to hide himself, he's got this weird piece of equipment hanging out of a window. So you do notice that one of the windows is wide-ass open. There's an arm hanging out with these 3 gold cups that look like they're trying to spin around held out in the air. But that's really about all you really see at the moment. And swing back around to you here in a bit. So, Genji, you are studying weather patterns. Is that kind of all you're doing for the week, or?
For the moment, I'm just trying to make sense of it. Like, at least as far as my ability to detect magic isn't grand enough in scope to really do anything besides, yeah, something's broke. Whenever I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the weather, so he's resorted to less magical means at the moment. He's trying to find like measurable anomalies, like is the distance between sunup and sundown increasing, decreasing? Is the wind doing anything anomalous? Like he's basically his first attempt of putting anything together magically didn't help, so he's trying to be scientific about it.
Okay, roll me an intelligence check. All right, so you know that there is a creature or a deity or some sort of entity that normally controls this kind of weather behavior. Yeah. And if something were to possibly impede that creature from doing their duty, then the random effects that you're seeing are probably the outcome of that.
So that's what I'm going for. Is it random, or am I seeing a noticeable degradation?
No, they're totally random.
Okay. I'm like, is the time between the sun coming back up getting longer?
No,
or is it squirrely?
It is squirrely. It's random, and there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to the time.
That's the main thing I was trying to get. Is there a pattern? Is it getting worse? That way I know. Is it broken, or is it getting worse? And oh crap, alert the council.
Right. No, from your examinations and your studies, like the moon's not out of orbit at all. It's where you would expect it to be. It's on the wrong day-night cycle. So the only thing that's really screwed up is the day-night cycle. The tides are still running the way that they should. The moon's still in orbit where it should be. The stars are still in the correct alignment where they would be for this time of year. But the transition day-night cycle is just fucked up. Roll me a perception check real quick, Genji. Alright, so Dr. V does notice, as he's been sticking his head out of the window trying to figure out, what's been going on with the day-night cycle, he has noticed that there's it looks like a bum has taken a particular interest in the shop that he's currently inhabiting. It just you happen to see the same cloaked figure over and over, just hanging around the outside of the shop.
At this point, Dr. V is manic about this, because this is one of those guiding pillars of the entire natural order of things. So if this is fucked up, he doesn't know how it's going to affect his magic, how it's going to affect trade, money, everything. Like one of the core fundamentals of day-to-day living is off. Right. So he's full on. He might notice, but I don't know if it would even like be a thing that he stops and thinks about. Like he's so locked into trying to find answers to the current fuckery, for lack of a better word, that he might notice the bum and just be like, yeah, bum, books, flip, books.
Okay. I need one more perception roll from you real quick.
So when it's doing, like, I understand that when it's rolling the 2d20s, what they represent, but when I'm not having an advantage or a disadvantage, am I accepting the roll on the left or the roll on the right?
The roll on the left. We're just going to take the first one.
First one? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so far the only thing out of ordinary that you've noticed is the day-night cycle.
Okay. Yeah,
right.
I am laser locked in on that right now. I don't know if I would notice the shop being on fire.
All right, Steve, what are you doing?
So Saren's gotten kind of an image of the creature that would be responsible for this, that he needs to. He thinks he needs to somehow find out where it is, or possibly in the event of it not being around anymore, he's gonna have to pull a Hogfather and take up the mantle. Possibly get death in on it. He's gonna first see if he can find out any more information based on the limited things he does know about it.
Okay.
If there's any, he's probably gonna search like a list of lesser nature beings, or possibly even ask some of his brethren that might know more about this. He's one of the members of the Druidic faith that like doesn't really think that much about deities. They follow the like old religion where it's like not so much about like personifications, but more just like about nature. So this is kind of new to him.
Okay.
So he's gonna see if he can find out anything more, and then possibly contact that creature or find out where it usually dwells.
All right, roll me a charisma check.
Okay.
You charmed the shit out of that god.
All right, so you ask around Drax End, which is the section of Freeport that really it was like they tried to build the city in a swamp and it just didn't work out. And so you've got just bog water and trees still all over the place, and a smattering of buildings here or there. But it's the closest thing to nature that you can really find in Freeport. And you get the indication that, some of the creatures in Drax Inn have seen the ghostly image that you described to them. And they just they can't really give you any other indication other than, yes, they've seen it.
Can I ask them if, by seeing it, does that mean like in dreams, or?
They kind of scratch their head, and you're not able to really communicate with them or get out of them kind of the difference between dream and awake. They're like, we've seen it.
Okay. Then he's probably gonna try and use the scrying spell.
Okay.
So this is actually this is going to assume the unlikely possibility that this creature is on the same plane as us, being something that affects the natural world. I'm gonna guess that it is actually on the natural world, and possibly like if it's able at all to contact him, then like it will be able to sense the scrying attempt. Let me see how this works. It can fail the saving throw voluntarily. I believe it's a wisdom saving throw. Yeah, there it is. And it's modified by how well I know it, so I'll be at a definite disadvantage.
Okay.
And
So roll for that, or am I rolling against your DC?
yeah, just roll against my DC. It will be alerted to the attempt, and it can voluntarily fail the save if it wants me to find out where it is.
Okay. It's not going to voluntarily fail that one.
Okay.
Is it 12's lower than your DC, I believe, though?
It is.
Okay. So the only thing that you really get as far as trying to scry the creature is you can't get a lock on the creature. In fact, you don't even see the creature. What you do see is a clearing that has a small hexagonal-shaped one-story wooden hut in it. The hut is in a clearing and it's surrounded by like a log fence. So like logs that are just kind of in the ground, creating a fence around it. Or have been put in the ground vertically to create a fence around it. But you don't really see the creature anywhere that you're really looking for.
Can I determine anything about the location?
The area that it's in is a kind of marshy, swampy area.
Can I see the sky?
You can.
Is it daytime?
Taint-like, even.
What's that?
Is it daytime?
It is.
Balls. I was hoping there would be like stars, and then I could like use
Good thought.
navigation or something.
Good thought. That was pretty clever.
Does the foliage appear to be a local?
Roll me an intelligence check.
Can I use nature?
Sure.
Possibly.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
It does appear to be local. The foliage and the marsh area appear a lot of like what's in Drax End. Your guess is it's probably not within the city limits, but it's probably the same marsh system.
Okay. So he's gonna go and try and recruit a possible guide or anyone that he can sort of like go on an adventure to find this place. Hopefully someone that possibly like a ranger of some sort or someone that would be able to go with him to this area.
Okay, where are you gonna look?
In the oh crap, what's the name of that? That inn that they were at. That it was like
That was
big
in the old city, right on the edge of the Temple District.
Oh,
yeah, that one.
The high end, the high end the high end hotel we
Yeah.
stayed at.
Because adventurers go there, right?
no, that was
Yeah.
more of a bureaucratic inn. It was more bureaucrats and people that had money to put themselves up nicely.
So wherever the local job board probably.
Okay, so you're probably going to have better luck around the docks if you're looking for adventurers than you are in Old City.
That makes sense.
So, all right, and we will come back to you, Cypher. What are you doing?
Well, I was heading towards the part of there you go. Heading towards the part of the city that the drunk guy said he saw the horseman floating around in buildings, or heard that the horseman was floating around in buildings. And I was going to go look and see what I could see in that area.
Okay. So the area that he gave you is really just kind of all over. He's like, it was somewhere in the city. He didn't really give you a specific location.
Okay.
He said it had been seen. It wasn't really like anywhere he said in town, pretty much.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me see. Do I have anything that will help me? Let's take a look at the spell book that I now possess. I don't think anything I have will be useful because I don't think I took any of those spells. Let's see. All right, no cantrips. Starting with level 2? No, that won't help. I know I have a couple fucking spells that will let me. No. Tentacle spells will not help.
They might.
Are you sure?
Your tentacles make everything better.
I mean, like, go nuts.
No, there's a no. Okay. So okay, yeah, none of the spells that I have will be useful at this time, so I can't use any of those. All right. Let me think. So just in this drunk guy said in the city he saw a flying. Now, why would I believe an alcoholic? That's another question I should ask
That's a
myself.
good question.
Fuck.
Did anything he say strike a chord with anything you already knew? Like
Well,
historical wise, like
I think the reason why it was something was because it was so outlandish. You know, of other things that I've heard, this was a really odd thing, and because of my character's nature, I think it's nature, isn't it? It's is it under class? No, it's under background. Because of my nope, I guess I didn't take that one. Oh well, I took the other one. That just sort of takes all the fun out of it. All right. Well, no, actually, technically, my ideal would sort of fit in with that. But because of the fact that it was something that was so outlandish, you know, it wasn't a matter of the kind of thing that people would normally say. I thought that there might be something to investigate in that because it was so odd. But since I don't have a specific direction to look, and I've been to several bars and really didn't get much information beyond this.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception! Alright, see, skills and perception, which I happen to have right here, and yes, I do have proficiency in it. Is it this one? Yeah, perception. Roll!
All right.
Aha!
Nice.
So, as you were walking between bars, looking, trying to find more information on this insane story that you heard ramble out of this alcoholic's mouth, you happen across one of these ghostly figures as they are just running, barreling through buildings, and you begin to chase, as well as you can, because this thing pays no attention to walls, people, anything. You're trying to follow it, and you're actually pretty well able to keep up with it for a bit until it kind of disappears out of sight. You do find yourself Scurvy Town. Roll me a you know what? Nah, with that crit, that's fine. You're outside of a hut or a shop rather, and looking up, you see a hand hanging, out the window, holding this contraption, this gold, weird-looking thing, and then there's this bum just kind of in the street, sitting outside of the shop, who happened to notice the ghostly apparition run by. Doesn't really seem too taken by it though.
He doesn't seem awestruck that this ghostly horsebound creature just flew past him.
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. Anna, one of these ghost horse just rode past you with this this wizard or this character chasing him. How are you reacting to that?
I'm gonna follow it.
All right. So you're following the ghost horse?
Yes.
Okay. It's actually it ran into a building, and that was the last that you were able to track it. So
Can I bust into the building?
roll me a strength check.
Oh.
Gingy, you got any enchantments on your shop doors?
Well, since I didn't know I owned a shop until about a couple of minutes ago, at the very least, I got a bunch of bells. But
Ding, ding,
because
ding. Next customer.
I do a lot of research upstairs, I definitely want to be aware of people coming and going from the shop door, especially if someone kicks it in.
Okay.
I'm sure I have to have some kind of magic lock on it. I wouldn't have trapped it because there's a chance that could backfire and destroy my own merch. However, I'm sure I did utilize some kind of magic lock or seal on it.
Okay. Well, the bells on your shop door just all of a sudden make this loud clamoring sound as if somebody has just kicked or shoulder rushed your door real hard. The door didn't give way, but there was a lot of commotion downstairs.
So the door did not give way?
It did not give way, but it rattled in its frame.
All right. I close a book with a distinct "What now?" Like, and hustle downstairs, and I guess I'm going to. I would like it to be one of those double doors, like a Mr. Ed door.
Alright.
You know what I mean? Like the door splits in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That way, on like a balmy coastal day, I can have some air coming in without
You
the door
can
being
throw
totally
open the doors and throw pigeons out of it, or doves out
Right,
of it.
whatever I got to do. Like if kids are going down the street, I can fire out doves that turn into business cards, like tell your parents and shut the door. I'm gonna like crack open the top of the door, the top half, and look outside and be like, "What?"
So standing outside of your door is this kind of ratty looking. Well, not the character's not ratty looking. In very ratty clothes is this dragonborn, and whatever Cypher's character happens to look like.
What does Cypher's character?
That is a
look
good
like?
question. Cypher, what does your character look like?
I think that I would look like I would have the robe and a cowl of a priest, just a black robe and cowl.
So would I be able to visually identify you as somebody who may be of a religious order?
I look like somebody who would be part of a religious order, but there's no symbols or anything on me that show that I
there's
am.
no
which one
visible
it
like
is.
iconography or anything like that.
No, it's just a robe
Okay.
and a cowl. That's it.
Okay, cool. I'm not even gonna notice you. How quickly can I notice that this creature in front of me is a gold dragon descendant?
Roll me a perception check.
I'm like, is moonlight glinting off scales? Like, how much is this gonna smack me in the face?
Well, she's got a hood over her head, so
Right, that's what I want to know.
yeah.
Like,
roll
do
me
I see a hooded figure or do I go, fuck me, a dragon?
roll me a perception check real quick.
Hold on.
And fuck me, that's a dragon.
Dragon.
I'm not gonna. I didn't notice the ghost.
No, you
not
were
gonna
upstairs
notice
for that.
Cypher. Exactly. I didn't see the ghost. I don't notice Cypher. I kind of like slam the door open, or like fling the upper part of the door open, yelling "what," and then stop and stare at her for a second. Pull out a tape measure and just like hold it in front of me, like I'm not touching her, but I've got the tape measure out. And I'm like, I'll do like a quick like height and width check of her face and go, I don't have time for you. Make me make time for you later, and I'm gonna slam the door.
All right, so Cypher and Anna, that just happened. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna try the door again.
Are you kicking it down, or are you knocking on it?
I'll knock on it.
All right,
How long is one action? Like, what is the length of time?
6
for one
seconds.
action?
6 seconds.
6 seconds. Okay. Then I'm going to cast a spell.
All right, what are you casting?
Invisibility.
All right, on yourself.
Yes.
I'm assuming you don't need to try to resist that, so that's fine. All right, Gingy, there's a loud knock on your door.
Here's what's gonna happen. I am going to open the top part of the door again real slowly, but I'm not going to look like the me I looked like a few seconds ago. I'm going to look like two very dead children who are twins, and they're holding hands.
Are they in little blue dresses?
They're in little blue dresses. They're holding hands, and the door is just going to creak open, and what the twin on the left is going to say, "We don't have time for playtime right now," and the other one at the same time is going to say the same thing but backwards, and then shut the door again.
When you say open the door, what do you mean?
I mean, it's a split door, like it's a barn door, like a Mr. Ed door.
Like
I
the top half
just
and bottom
the top
half?
Okay, just the top
The
half.
bottom half has remained shut and is
Hmm.
magically sealed.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna hiss make time and try to kick the door down.
All right, roll me a strength check real quick. The door definitely gives way at least a little bit,
You're not gonna like this glyph.
Because I'm guessing the top of the door is probably now splintered, at least because the bottom's magically locked in place. The
The
top
bottom one is glyphed.
Okay, so the top one is has splintered, and there's now a large crack down the center of it. So even if you close it, you can still see through it.
That glyph, though.
That glyph, though. You want to know what kind of glyph I've got set up on my door? As
I do.
security? It's a dimensional door.
Okay.
If I don't dispel it and put the door in friendly mode, anything that passes through it will walk out like they just walked through the doorway out of another building in Scurvy Town.
Okay.
They're just gonna walk through the door and they will be in an alley in Scurvy Town
Okay. I like
because
that.
it's glyphed with a dimensional door.
That works for me. So there is now a big hole in the top of your door with a gold dragonkin looking through it, though.
Two twins are staring at the gaping hole, going, "Well, shit." One of which said it backwards.
Oh, for some reason I can't help but like hear the midget from Twin Peaks,
Twin Peaks.
saying it in the weird, like, distorted voice. Anyway,
Who was also the ringmaster from fucking Carnival.
Yeah.
all right. So I will come back to you three here in a second. Go. What are you doing?
I was totally enjoying that. Well, I was still I was kind of wandering the docks, and then I've been, if there's no real bars, if the dive bars in town aren't really located in the docks district, if they're in Scurvy Town's dock district, if it's normal evening time, that's probably where I'm at. I'm probably wandering the waterfronts looking for coppers that I can make and meals that I can scavenge.
Well, Scurvy Town definitely has some bars. Whether or not they're the kind you would want to patronize. What's
Patronize.
The word? There you go,
That's
patronize.
correct.
Gotcha.
It is completely up to you because they are definitely the shadier, dirtier. You might catch something from sitting on that bar stool kind
Well, it's
of
one of
bars.
those rare times when the pure class skill pays off. If you're immune to poisons and diseases, you can kind of lower your eating standards.
If somebody goes through my dimensional door and they end up in the Scurvy Town alley, I want to make sure there's a very intricate chalk drawing on whatever wall they're now facing of just me flipping them the bird.
Oh god, it's up there in magic graffiti.
Right. No, it doesn't even have to be magical. I'll go there in a few days and repaint it.
Yeah, do you have to like re-chalk it when it rains, or?
Right. Yeah, it'll just be painted. It'll just be like just a crude. Cause he's not an artist. He's just a crude like wizard with like a cartoonish wizard hat flipping the bird.
Oh
Like
god.
with like next time make an appointment and a word bubble coming out of his mouth.
All right, so you did spend the week looking for the ex-wife, and towards the end of that week you did finally find it. And it's moored on one of the piers, kind of right outside of Scurvy Town.
Glorious.
Shit, please tell me, since I'm out being Dr. V, please tell me in the ship's absence, there is a wee man. Like the boarding dock is totally on board to try to keep people from just walking on board. I really, really, really want just a guy on the ship that's like, nobody sees the captain. Not nobody, not know how.
Well,
Pay no
the
attention to that man behind the sail.
Right?
because Freeport has tried to make itself legitimate, it does have a city watch, kind of that patrols the piers, and they've actually set up a system that, if the captain says, hey, nobody boards the ship for the next week and pays them, whatever gold they require, they will essentially become bouncers for that ship. So you do
Nice.
have somebody set up on
Okay.
the dock that's like, no, nobody's boarding the ex-wife right
There's
now.
got to be a word for it. The plank with the ridge.
Yeah.
That is
you know.
exactly what it's called, the gangplank.
Yeah,
The
the
game plank.
gangplank.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here for you.
I was trying to remember what the hell that was called. I was like, I figured I would just have the gangplank pulled up,
I'm here
and so
for you,
people
man.
just
All
be
that
staring
nautical
at the side of
stuff.
it.
And it is, and they're there to kind of give information about, oh, well, the captain, has paid up for the next week. that really doesn't tell them when they'll be back. It just says, hey, the captain's paid for the next week. So they're there to kind of provide extra security and kind of maybe in the event that you do want somebody looking for you directed to a spot, they're like, oh, well, you can find the captain, here.
That's exactly what Debuscher is actually looking for. If I found it with the gangplank rolled up and there's no way to get aboard the ship, he would try a semi-polite ahoy, ahoy to the ex-wife. I love the great ship's name, by the way. Ahoy to the ex-wife. Potential crewman seeking an audience. That's the word I'm looking for here.
I'm not there though.
But if you're not there, and nobody's there to respond,
I'm in my shop.
and if there's no signs, like you said, the city guard may or may not be out and about walking the docks. But if there's nobody there, and there's no gangplank onto it, I would walk around a bit to see if there's some other way aboard other than sneaking on board, because that's not the best way to meet your employer. Hey, I broke into your boat.
So Gingy
But
would.
in that respect, he may be impressed if someone actually
But
without maybe
if
that's a test. Like
first
if you make it onto the board,
first is the I have to try. Is there no one's responding and there's no sign of anyone about, like the dock master wandering the docks?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. Gingy, would you have paid for a crier or the city guard to say, hey, the captain's not here, and when he'll be back, or would you have just kind of left it there?
no, if that's an option where when I left the ship, I could basically essentially make a human voicemail box, then yeah, I would do that.
Okay.
That the captain is away on business. He should return. Let's say 6 o'clock. I'm on my ship every day from 6 to 7.
Okay. Would you have left instructions on where the captain can be found between that time?
No, because he doesn't want people to know that they're the same person.
Okay.
So when I'm off being Dr. V, of course the captain's not going to be anywhere.
Right.
And my character is sufficiently knowledgeable of ships. It's one of those, if the captain's ashore and he's not actively straight openly recruiting, like we got to recruit the crew, that's his few rare private times. You leave the captain alone.
Okay. So
Yeah. I will leave that message though. The captain is at his ship every day from 6 to 7 o'clock.
Push button.
No
here
matter
to
what's
talk.
going on, he will be there from 6 to 7.
Okay. And it's probably about 3 o'clock that afternoon at this point. So go your
In theory, the captain will be back in about 3 hours.
about 3 hours, yeah.
About 3
If
hours.
I have time, I can wander back off of this dock and find the nearest place that I can possibly get the cheapest possible snack or food that I can find.
Yeah, there's a couple of bars and they're kind of empty
Isn't I?
as far as
There you go.
well, they're not empty, but most of the patrons are currently passed out over tables. But you find one willing to provide you with a reasonable meal for assistance cleaning up the last night's.
That's all I can offer him. I
Yeah.
can helpfully eject patrons who are no longer paying patrons from them
Mhm.
from their
Roll me a let's just call it roll me a d20.
just a roll.
Yeah, just a regular d20.
straight out to E20. Oh, I was like, wait, how do I click on that? Yeah, don't, dummy.
You click the dice button. Yeah, I think the new character sheets are spoiling us.
All right, so yeah, you get enough to get like 1 or 2 patrons out, and it's enough to get you a meal, but not really anything extra to go along with it. All right, so this will swing back around to Cypher, Anna, and Gingy. Gingy, you now have this gold dragonkin staring through a big hole in your door, making time for you to see them. So what do you
You
do?
didn't say how they should make the time.
That's right.
How you'll
Well,
see them, only that you would have
so-
happen.
Just to clarify as the way it's gone down, so the top door is splintered,
It is.
and they're looking through the open of it, and I'm still 2 weird little girls.
You are. And there is all you can see on the other side of the splintered door is this dragonkin face.
I am going to I already said my piece with we don't have time to play right now, and the 2 little girls are going to skip back upstairs.
Okay. All right.
And once I get upstairs, I'm going to be casting Dimension Door, and I'm going to be returning back to my hotspot set as being my ship. I'm going to go to the ex-wife.
Okay. All right. Anna, what are you doing? The little girl said they don't have time to play with you at the moment.
Well, I'm already pissed because I bounced off the door to begin with. So I'm gonna finish what I started.
Okay. So you roll me a strength check real quick.
Wow.
All right. That's all right. The door's already pretty damaged. So you end up putting your foot, what would have put your foot through the lower half of the door, and then find yourself suddenly in an alley, not where you were standing moments ago, with a chalk drawing of a very pissed off wizard flipping you the bird that says, "Make an appointment next time."
Awesome. Awesome.
Well, I'm pissed off, so I'm gonna be trying to find my way back to where I was.
All right, roll me an intelligence check. All right, so
She likes those nines.
she does. It takes you a few hours, but you are able to finally find your way back to that same building. Mainly, the reason that you noticed it is because the door is now missing. Or at least the top half of it has a big crack in it, and the bottom half of it is still intact, but it's got a rather large scuff on the front of
I was
it.
gonna say, I got the mental image of you're holding your foot up to it, checking the size. Yeah, that's the one I kicked in.
Is there anything I can do to have like a dove just flop up to her and drop her a bill for the door?
Yeah. So you have a dove that brings you this invoice for let's call it 150 gold for a broken door. For an enchantment. Door plus commodities.
Does it stop and land somewhere?
No, it just kind of drops it out of its mouth and it lands on the top of your cowl.
Because I was thinking dinner.
So
So
Cypher.
this dimensional door rune, it's been triggered because she walked through it. So is it? I mean, is the spell's been used? Correct.
I would assume it's a one-shot deal.
Yeah.
I think that's something I either have to maintain or re-implant every time it's been triggered.
Yep, that's the
Okay.
way that I interpret them. So yeah,
Yeah,
there's
just to
no
be-
more.
Just to be fair.
Yeah, there's no more ward on the door.
Okay, hold on a second.
Still working.
Wait, what would our old party do? Time to loot this place. Oh, I
Yep.
mean,
Okay, then
Oh.
I'm going to walk. I'm still invisible. I'm just going to walk through the door, like open it, walk in,
Okay.
and I'm looking to see if I can see anything of the trail of the ghost horse, because this was a. I don't know if she was there. I don't know if this. I'm assuming this has happened after she disappeared, so I'm walking in after
Right.
she opened the door, and
Right.
I'm looking to see if there's any ghost horse, anything that I can see.
What would I name my shop? I'm just trying to think about that. Like Dr. Vitus's House of Oddities or something.
Snake oil sales stand. I don't know.
Yeah.
but-
The missus had to say Emporium. It has to have the word Emporium in it.
As far as any traces of this ghost horse, no, there's no kind of residue. The ghost horse doesn't appear to be in the building anywhere.
Okay. What is in this building? Since I'm in it, like what am I seeing?
Gingy, what do you have in your shop?
Hold on, I just took a bite of something.
No worries.
Inside my shop,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
sorry, it's peanut buttery, so it's. I'm trying not to Mr. Ed on the microphone, but anyway, my shop is a general magic and curiosity shop from things that I've acquired through various missions and things. There's both magical and non-magical artifacts, religious iconography, spell tomes. Upstairs is more of like a research area. It's got a bunch of my personal books and not for sales.
Okay. Well,
But
since
it's a
obviously-
magic shop.
Right. Well, since I obviously didn't know this was a magic shop when I got here, so I am going to start perusing. Still invisible. I'm going to start perusing the tomes and books and scrolls and whatnot to see what is there.
Okay. Trying to think of the best way to.
The
do
spell
that.
lasts for an hour, by the way.
Okay.
Jesus, your invisibility's an hour?
Up to an hour long,
Jesus.
and it's not concentration either, and it's only level 2, which is interesting.
Damn.
So you find some remnants of extraplanar creatures. There's something that looks like a stuffed rabbit with some antelope horns stuck like on top of its head. There's
A little hat and monocle on it.
right. There's this kind of, for some reason in my head, Genji's shop has a lot of stuffed or taxidermied odd creatures.
Oh, sure.
So there is this essentially like this tall straw man with this deer skull and horns on it. And there's, just standing around, there's a lot of things that you don't know what they do. There's this little box that when you pick it up, it lights up all of a sudden, and there's these runes that go across the front of it after it lights up, and you're not quite sure what that does, but they seem to tick off at or at regular intervals. There's a couple of hourglasses standing around. There's some potions and containers that have liquid in them, but not really clearly labeled.
My focus is primarily on the actual written stuff, the books, the information that can be either maintained in a tome or in a scroll or something like that. Potions and whatnot, I'm not too concerned with.
Okay. Being that Genji's character is a sorcerer, he doesn't really have much need for spellbooks, so I imagine his trade in spellbooks is kind of limited. So you're really not finding a whole lot. You do find a couple of ledgers for the shop as far as, today we did this amount of money, and that's about, really the only kind of written information that you're finding.
Apparently DM doesn't exist. Interesting. Huh. That's interesting. You're no longer listed as DM. You're now listed as Impious.
Oh, weird.
Whisper space lowercase GM. It's still there.
Oh, GM. I put DM. That was why.
I'm here for you.
No dungeons, only games.
Only games.
Okay. So it didn't send it. Send, you piece of crap. Send. What the? Yes, that's what I want. No.
There you go.
It looks like it sent it to everybody. Okay. That's just for your information.
Yep.
That's one of the things. All right. So if there was nothing in there that can be reviewed that's worthwhile, in terms of what I'm looking. You said that there were things that are extraplanar entities.
They look like stuffed creatures that you're not really familiar with. You've never seen a rabbit with antelope horns on its head. You've never seen, the straw man with a deer skull.
A little anthropomorphic taxiderming jackalope with a top hat and a monocle is totally the store mascot. Like he's what you see if you turn towards the door, and it's like he has like a come again wooden thought bubble.
There's there's stuff like two-headed cats, and there's a probably the skeleton of a dragonling.
Would I get the
display.
distinct impression that this is a sham shop?
You get the impression that a lot of stuff in here is probably sham, but there's probably a lot of stuff in here that actually does what it says it's supposed to.
It's a combination.
There's a good balance of stuff.
I've created, like a puzzle box that can't be opened, and there's also actual things that I've acquired through adventuring.
Yeah.
You can generally tell which is real and which is not by its price tag. If it's legit, it's money.
A puzzle box that can't be opened, so basically a block of wood is what you're saying.
Well, I want it
With
is
clever lines on it.
there are parts that move and make distinct mechanical clicks, but they're not doing anything.
Okay. So I don't think there'll be anything in this shop of interest, and since I can't find the ghost horse or any tracks of the ghost horse, I guess then I will head back out of the shop and continue my observation of seeing if I could find another one of those funky ghost horses.
Okay.
To see if I can follow it, because at this point I don't know where it would have gone from. I mean, I guess I can move in the direction that I know it was going, and just see if I can see anything beyond that. But if I get to a point like I hit a wall or the water, then I'm going to have to turn around and go in another direction.
All right, roll me a perception check.
Perception, which is give me the fucking mod. Jesus Christ! All right, skills, perception, and click.
All right. So you're kind of feeling a little bummed out. You're not finding anything in the shop, and most of the stuff in the shop, well, I can't loot any of this. It's no good to me. So about that time, you're kind of sitting there in the center of or the middle of the street, kind of looking around, trying to figure out what your options are. Hang on just a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't want to cough in the mic.
Appreciate it.
Don't go to sick your Skype, man.
Yeah, no shit. If you get me the internet germs,
I'm gonna send you a virus through Skype.
dude.
But
If
there's
my mom listens to this, she'll totally believe you. Oh God, I have to update my Nortons.
But yeah, you're sitting there kind of confused, scratching your head, like, all right, well, where do I go now? What do I look for? About that time, you actually catch the tail of this spectral horse as it rounds a corner, headed towards the waterfront. And after you give chase to it, and you end up on the docks, and just quick enough to catch it enter the side of the ship. And this is big black ship. It's kind of gold trim down the side of it.
Whoa, the horse is following me?
You don't know.
You don't know. You didn't
Oh, I'm
see
sorry.
it.
Out of character. I totally would have put my thumb on my forehead there. I'm just like, oh shit.
No, out of character, no. It's just random. This is the DM trying to get everybody together. This is not a plot device. This is just me trying to get everybody in one spot.
It's a herding device.
That's right. But no,
Is the ship leaving dock? Is it?
it's
is
not.
It, like,
it is.
more,
It is
so
moored.
it's more to the dock.
It is moored
Right,
to the
and
dock.
and is there access to the ship that's obvious?
There is not. The gangplank is drawn.
Okay, then what I'm going to do, do I have access to, having some knowledge of this city since I've been here for a while, do I have access to the dock that this particular ship is moored at?
You do.
Okay, so there's not somebody that's stopping me from walking down,
No,
down the thing.
the docks are big enough that there are 2 or 3 ships moored to either side of the dock. So these are
Okay.
rather long docks, and you've got access to it. It's not the ships that they don't want anybody on. The gangplanks are pulled up, or or there's somebody standing in front of them going, hey, we're not seeing anybody at the moment.
I will
Okay.
say, just to tickle your fancy bones, if you look at that ship long enough, you will see an arm coming out of a window holding an anemometer.
Actually, roll me a perception check, Cypher, because you saw that at the shop earlier.
All right, perception.
You do see that out of the back window of the ship, over where the captain's quarters are, there's an arm holding an anemometer out into the air.
Okay, I want to review what I know about spirits. I'm basically using my arcana here.
Okay.
Do I know of any situation where spirits would be related to a device of that type? Like, in other words, is it like, do I know that to be some sort of summoning device, or?
Roll me your knowledge.
All right, knowledge arcana roll.
As far as you know, this device may be something that summons spirits.
Okay.
It may be what's attracting them.
All right, so then what I will do is I'm going to walk up to the side of this big old ship, and I see, this is the thing about ships like this. I know that it's like looking up the side of a building, but I'm going to see if I can see anybody on the deck that is there that can be contacted, and if not, let me know, because then my next step is going to happen.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception, which is not as cool as a spot check, but it'll do.
Spot
just
check.
cut.
Hey,
Oh,
Nice roll.
very
Holy crap.
nice. You can actually you walk around the ship and you walk around to the ass end of it, and I don't know the nautical term. I'm terrible. But
I am currently standing on the
booty. He's on the booty of the ship.
I'm on the forecastle.
All right. So you do see somebody up on the forecastle. You also see, there's a couple of people that are mooring around the dock. There's, definitely somebody who's walking towards you as you've shown an interest in this vessel, going, hey, he's starting to talk. Or, I'm sorry, you're invisible. I take that back.
Yes, that's correct.
So no, nobody's approaching you. And but the only person you seem to see on the ship at the moment is the hand holding the fucking thing. I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, the timometer.
Manometer?
Anemometer. There we go.
That's
Yeah.
an anomenon.
Oh,
There we go.
Aw.
So
Well, I
I'm going
found
to.
a good ship of ship anatomy, and I just realized it might be more prudent to just give you a link.
So I am going to, since I see that there's this person, this arm, this entity on that part of the ship, I'm going to look to my left and right to see if there's anybody else on the dock with me.
There are people on the dock with you. Like I said, there's people stationed out in front of ships, and there are people walking back and forth and whatnot.
Okay. Is it during the daytime or is it nighttime?
It is. It's about 4 o'clock right now.
Okay.
But as far as the day-night cycle, it's actually dusk.
Okay. And the people that are on the dock with me, are they nearby? How far are they from where I'm standing?
They're kind of mooring about doing their business. There's nobody, within arm's length of you.
Okay. So but they're preoccupied with what they're doing.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so I'll just drop my invisibility
Okay.
while I'm standing there, and I'll be looking up at the arm thing, at the person that's associated with it, and just watching them to see what happens.
Okay. And it's Dr. Dr. Vitus that you're seeing up on the ship.
Now, I didn't see him when he had his arm out before. I just saw the two little girls. He never actually showed up, so I don't know what
Right.
he looks like.
You didn't actually see
I
him.
did poke out my head at first as me, and I measured her.
Oh, that's
face.
right. Oh, that's right. So the person who I saw that was in the thing is.
That's right.
I'm assuming it's them again.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Well, then I have reason to believe that it went to where he was before, and now here he is again at the same place this ghost is. This ghost went to. So I'm going to basically wait until he's by. I don't know if is he moving? Is he just standing there?
I'm standing there. There's kind of a little standing desk with a couple of books open, and he's just sort of measuring these cups spinning and taking notes and looking very, very frustrated, very just fucking nothing makes sense.
And this is I can see this from the side from on the dock.
Yeah. With that perception roll, you can.
Okay, so
Your
my
eyes totally made periscopes with that.
that's
roll.
what I'm saying. Like, and then my sight bent around the corner. And okay, then
You might hear a distance murmured like fuck words.
Yeah, perception
Like slamming a book, like mother, just
with fifth ed, because it's perception now. It's sight and
yeah.
hearing and everything else. So with a combination of your senses, you're able to kind of get an idea of what's going on up there.
Okay. What I will do. Let's do. Okay, so what I will do, and this is another thing I'm going to pass to you, Imp, so that you know what's going on. First, I will pass this to you so that you understand what it is that I'm doing, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, "Hey, look down here." I'm basically just going to say, "Hey, look down the side."
So those are either of those cantrips, or were those both spells?
No, those are not spells. That is.
Oh, that's right. That one's an
Those
ability.
the abilities, yeah.
Right. Well, your invisibility was a spell, right?
My invisibility was and I already marked it off. So
Okay,
yeah, it was a
and-
level 2 spell.
Eyes of the Rune Keeper was a ability.
Eyes of the Rune Keeper is an invocation, which
Okay.
is something I can do, and then this is also an ability.
Okay.
So
All right. I'm just trying to keep track of your spells and whatnot.
yeah,
All right.
the invocations are enhancements. These are abilities, and the other ones are spells.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So Gigi, you have your mind feels a little crowded all of a sudden.
his mind is probably extremely crowded. He's full on
No,
manic
no,
mode
no.
right
Your
now. Would I notice?
your mind is crowded because you now have
Right.
his thoughts in there with you. He's communicating with you telepathically.
Oh,
So your mind is now crowded.
it would probably take a few minutes to notice. Basically, imagine my brain right now being a small room of yelling people, all like trying to figure out like the fuck, everything's broken, everything's broken. Like he might have to like in my head a couple of times
So
before I get drawn attention to it.
So Cypher, you make that link, and what you hear is everything's broken. What the fuck is going on? Basically what Gingy just described.
Right. Well, I need you to look down the side of your ship.
He just like when this link is made, can you hear his thoughts? Can you hear my thoughts?
It's a telepathic connection. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so it's a two-way street. Is what I'm
It is,
asking.
yeah.
Okay. you hear silence at that point, like, because he just has a, Metal Gear exclamation point moment.
Swing!
Yeah, just swings and is just looking around.
Look over the side of your ship, please.
Okay. Before I step to the side of the ship, I am going to take the presence of the Rad Pirate Roberts.
Okay.
I really should put the flaw.
He is going to be able to see you change your demeanor
Oh shit!
because he
But
sees
I
you.
don't-
He sees you as Dr. Vetus Dr. Vetus right now.
Mhm. Haha, you don't know
but-
that.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know that though.
Yeah.
Because logically, there's no way anybody can see me right now. I'm on the forecastle.
Yeah.
I understand that he does, but I'm like, as a character,
Yeah.
I wouldn't assume that.
Right.
So I will continue that movement. I will become the Rad Pirate Roberts, which is just a sunburnt, braided, black-bearded, peg-legged, hook-handed, like diseased-looking, angry bird on his shoulder, like a fucking vulture on his shoulder. With just, I want to look like the scariest goddamn Scooby-Doo pirate.
You are the generic template
No,
for scary
I am-
Scooby-Doo pirate.
Yeah, like, if you read a book called Scary Pirates 101, I would be chapter 4. Like, and just,
If I rip your head off, are you gonna be Mr. Brennan?
if you
Yes.
rip my, because if it's a disguise kit, if you can pull it off, you're just gonna see Dr. V's face going, the shit!
I would have got it if it wasn't for you pesky kids.
I would have had that sunken treasure too.
Right.
If it weren't
The
for you
mermaid's
meddling
mine,
pigs.
I would have been crowned king of Freeport if it wasn't for you pesky kids.
That's right.
I will, so I will disguise myself and look like the fucking front cover of the D&D 5th edition book. And
I missed that. Sorry, I pulled my headset off to cough again.
That's all right.
I just said, like, I will disguise myself and look like the fucking cover of the 5th ed book.
Oh, the giant.
Yeah.
All right, right on.
Not like be a giant, but just
Right.
like that kind of presence.
Gotcha. Okay.
And just like slam my fist on the banister of the that part of the ship, the forecastle, and look down and just point very angrily, like hard frowny face, like :C frowny face. You're like, get out of my thinky parts.
So you're gonna see, you'll see the same black robed, black cowed person looking up at you.
So that'll be like a guttural, like an instant knee jerk reaction, like, get out of my thinky part. God damn it. And just like see you guys like, really?
I need
At
to
this-
come aboard your ship.
He takes a second and he just sort of looks at him, thinks about stuff, like 5-second silence, and he just walks back out of eyesight as the gangplank is being lowered.
Okay. And we'll come back to you guys in a minute here.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, what are you doing?
Okay, so can I see any of this bullshit going down at the docks? Or, like,
Roll me a perception check.
If this
Okay.
was a book, this chapter would have to be that magical bullshit at the docks.
can I just say that I'm kind of sad that spot check is gone, not mechanically, but like just because it's fun to
I miss
say.
spot check too.
I will have to make a Russian NPC named Spot Check.
There you go.
Good.
His focus skill, perception.
There you go.
You can totally see all this magical bullshit going on at the docks.
So that looks very exciting to me. So
You probably did not see Dr. Vitus turn into Vobert, but you
No.
saw
because I know Dr. Vitus by sight, but I don't know I don't know Bobbert.
what you saw is you saw a black cloaked figure appear out of nowhere, stare very intently up at this ship. Some grizzled old pirate look down from over his ship and slam his hand on the banister as the gangplank is being lowered.
All right.
Yeah, pretty
so,
much.
I'm just gonna start running over there.
Okay.
In my head, like, you know how the forecastle is almost like a room on top of the deck, like it stands independently. It's often
Right.
like captain quarters. You know how like the front of that often has windows, so you can observe the deck from within
Yes.
the captain's quarters.
Mhm.
What I don't want windows to be there. What I want is a large fish tank taking the majority of that front, and inside of it is a magically projected dead mermaid swimming around.
All right.
Like,
we can
just-
do that.
Partially skeletal and just kind of doing figure eights and like not intelligent. It's not a maintained enough spell that requires enough concentration to where I can give it personality. It's more like a mechanical mermaid doing a lap. It's flavor.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
It's like the submarine guy. Then that's
I
the
want,
scuba diver
I
guy
want
in
my
a fish
ship
tank.
to be scary. Yeah, it's the scuba diver guy. But
Instead
like
of-
I want my ship to be kind of like magic and scary.
Dude,
It's-
Your,
in the bottom
your
of this
ship
aquarium.
is Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean right now.
In my head, in the bottom of this aquarium, instead of the treasure chest that opens up with the bubbles, it's a zombie head, and the scalp just kind of tips back, and there's a brain that emits bubbles. All right, but anyway, so Steve, you're running towards the ex-wife as you're seeing all this kind of go down.
Yeah. So I see two figures. One of them is a black cloaked figure, and one of them is what else?
A grizzled pirate.
A grizzled pirate. So two pirates, and they're flinging spells at each other.
No,
No,
no.
no spells were
Oh,
flung.
they just look like they're about to get into it.
Well,
Actually, they were just looking at each other.
Yeah,
And
they-
one
Yeah, the
side
guy on the
was
bottom
to
looked
right.
up, the guy on the top looked down, then the gangplank was lowered, and that was it.
They shared a
Oh,
look.
okay. So I don't see
If
any.
if you perceived hard enough, you may have heard fuck words coming from the ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
cool.
you heard
So-
some fuck words come from the ship.
So I don't. Okay, so pretty much standard sailor stuff.
Yeah.
Standard sailor
Pretty
stuff.
much.
That magical bullshit is the new name of my ship.
That magical bullshit.
So what Saren's gonna do is he's gonna head over there. These look like some capable adventurers to him.
They do.
So what he's gonna do is he's gonna go up, get their attention, and then say, "Have either of you seen this?" Then he's going to stone shape an image of the creature with the like horseman
hmm
figure out of the ground.
Okay.
Out of the wooden
Out of the wooden docks.
dock.
Oh,
You
they
get a stone shape out of the wooden dock.
Yay!
Crackle,
Damn it.
crackle,
I
crunch.
can
there.
see like how about like as you're walking up, you just sort of like form that out of the top of like a stone wall, and then pluck
And-
it off and take it with
And
you.
I'll form the head.
Like just stone shaped from like a cobblestone wall, and just break it off and take it with you.
Yeah, that sounds like I could do it too.
Roll me a. Well, I guess you don't need to roll. You're doing stone shape. Never mind.
This druid school. It's one of the things they teach. Not that fucking checking the weather or taking care of trees, but stone shaping. That's what they-
Unless you wanted to do it on my ship, if you made that like the head of a banister, I would be like, cool, leave it. The horseman stands.
Yeah, so I'll probably just grab like a block of stone nearby, make like an image of the horseman, and then like be like, have you seen this? Like floating around. I'm trying to figure out what it is, and I have an idea of where to go.
So you just like boarded the ship with them and started
Oh,
talking.
well, I thought they were like outside the ship.
They were,
No.
I believe, they were boarding the ship, or at least they were about to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
Cypher
there was
was.
me.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
the
who
only
else is
person
there.
there.
Okay, I thought Anna followed.
No, she's off in some alley in Scurvy Town getting flipped off by your chalk drawing.
That's
Yeah.
right. I don't know.
So
apparently,
I'll-
the magical bullshit is loud enough to where I am docked in Scurvy Town. She wouldn't be far.
Yeah, no, she's not. In fact, she may hear some of this magical bullshit.
He may hear
But-
some magical bullshit.
At the moment, she's not there though.
Okay. So I'd probably just try to get their attention and tell them that I'm looking for able-bodied adventurers to. I need some virile semen to solve this.
Just point towards the poop deck.
to solve this issue.
How are we
with,
not still doing phrasing?
Yeah, do they pay attention to me at all?
I guess it depends on when you get there, because as soon as the gangplank drops, I'd start walking up it briskly. So depending on when you got there, I may not have been there when you started talking.
Okay.
Because my whole objective was to get on the ship to look for the floaty ghost thing that you're trying to ask questions about. That's why.
I am pretty. I have a feat called mobile, so I am pretty quick on my toes.
I'll leave that up to the GM to decide.
I will. I'll let you, because it's not really, anything. There's nothing really in your way.
Why did I just hear the referee's voice in my head from Celebrity Deathmatch?
I'll allow it. Yep,
I'll allow it.
pretty much.
I'll allow it.
It's not really difficult terrain or nothing, so I have no problem with you catching up.
Okay.
Sweet. I actually think that I don't have. That's like one of the things about it is that like difficult terrain doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a dock. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to slip on some slippery boards.
God knows what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
God knows what.
okay, so
Knowing what part of town we're in, that's apt.
that's true.
There you go. All right.
I might slip in some magical bullshit.
Mm.
Hate
Apparently
that.
we're throwing it blocks wide.
All right. So, you get there with this stone crafted horse thing.
I'm actually going to make it right in front of you.
You're gonna craft it in front of me? Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm carrying what looks like a stone
Mhm.
chunk, and then I'm waiting to make my
He's gonna make a flourished entrance with this rock.
exactly. So probably I'm going to be like, hi, I'm looking for companions to go on a quest.
Okay. So you're just holding this rock and you're saying you're looking for people to go on a quest.
Exactly. And have you seen this? And then I'll flourish the stone, and it will become.
Okay. Well, when you say that you're looking for people to go on a quest, I would turn away from you to start walking back up the thing, and then when you sort of thrust forward the horse's ass that you're holding in your hand there, I'll stop and
Dead
I'll
ass.
stop. Yeah, I'll stop, pull my cowl down to expose my head, and what you see is sort of a blue-black haired, pale-skinned elf, perhaps? Kind of elfish?
Well, you're a half elf, aren't you?
Yeah,
So
but
you should
you
look
have
elf.
I have
Elf
elf
question
elf.
mark?
That's what I'm saying. Elfish. That's what I'm saying. You see an elfish-looking person. Could be an elf. Could be a human with weird ears.
You're a filthy
And-
knife ear, but not quite so knifey.
That's it. And I will. I'll stop and look at you without saying anything, and then stare at your stone, like examine without touching it, your stone horse thing, and then look back at you.
Do you recognize it?
Where have you seen this?
I've been trying to investigate the anomalies that have been happening with weather. All that I've been able to ascertain was that a creature of this description is involved, and I have somewhat a very vague idea of what the location I need to look in is like.
Are you looking for this spectral horse?
Yes, I believe that it's connected to the events that have been going on.
That flying horse has been in 2 locations that I've been at today. One of them is this ship, and that's why I'm going on it. Then I'll turn around and walk up the plank.
Was it actually here?
Yes. and I just keep walking.
Hmm. All right.
Just a quick question, GM. Should I
Are-
take
are-
should I take the slow talking flaw?
Um,
Is that going to make you like a mungo?
No.
No. The slow talking flaw is it basically it says I talk really slow to stupid people to communicate, which means I talk to everybody slowly. Basically, I'm not going to. I was just saying I could just to make the point.
I was
He's an
gonna say if you
asshole. Is what
want.
it comes down to. No. I took something else, but
All
yeah.
right.
Then he's probably going to be like, "Are you a member of the crew of this boat?"
Now,
Nope. I'm just going
Oh.
onto the ship and up towards where the captain or where Popeye the sailor was.
Is the captain nearby? I generally don't like to board other people's boats without their permission. I would feel uncomfortable if someone did that for me.
Well, while you're standing there muling over whether or not you should be on the ship, I've already entered and gone in. So what you decide to do from that point is up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna start being like, "Oh there, is the captain anywhere nearby?"
You are
I
going
say.
to see from torso up the grabbing the banisters of the ship and looking over in a distinct pissed off what now looking down the gangplank and just making a fist thumb up pointing over his shoulder like fucking come on.
All right, yeah. So he'll come on and start detecting for magic to see if he can find the horse on the boat.
If you detect magic on the ex-wife, your head's going to explode. Like everything is magic.
it's the beginning of the movie Scanners.
Right. Yeah.
So-
If you detect magic on my ship, you're gonna get a nosebleed and you're gonna black out.
So Saren's going to be very excited by like the dust on your boat. Literally everything.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
Yeah. Like if you can look in a window into one of the quarters, it's just fucking the good shit from Vitus's shop is kept on the ex-wife. Like magical artifacts, my planner staff is like
Yeah,
on a stand on a desk.
that's because she won it in the divorce. That's why it's on the
You
ship.
have a magical boot horn? Why do you have a magical boot horn?
Like you can get a sensation that the entire crew that's below deck, like in the I guess it was the galley, is all like construct. It's all magical construct that rows the ship.
Nice.
Like this is a fucking giant this ship is practically an illusion. It is just one hot magic fuckball. Like it is and like
the other alternate name of the ship. One
the
giant
magical
fuckball.
This
like,
is
like if you could detect magic, if that worked like the way Daredevil sees, the captain would be hard to look at. Because his entire everything is a magical visage.
this is the magic
So-
bowl that the magic bullshit came from.
He's probably
Right,
going to be
right.
like
You found the
exploring the
magical
ship and being like, "Oh my god, this whole thing."
All right.
Like this magic is giving you a headache.
I'm,
Like this is even though he doesn't want anyone to know this, you probably are quickly aware this is a fucking wizard ship.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you were clever enough, to be able to detect magic, it wouldn't take a lot of A plus B equals C to be like, holy shit, this is like a sorcerer's pirate ship.
Right.
All right. So you guys are on board the ship now. We will come back to you and let
Yes.
you resolve that. Go. What are you doing?
Well, if it's approximately past 6, it's time to stroll back out on the pier and see if the captain's having visiting hours, tryouts and such.
It took a couple of hours from the in the alley giving the finger, so that would make it about 5.
Yeah, I'd say it's
But
probably about 5.
More time. Yeah, more time has probably passed between then and now, though. Because it was about 2 hours when I think she saw the chalk drawing of a wizard giving her the finger. So I would say it's push. I mean, shoot me down here, but I'd say it's probably getting close to 6.
Yeah, it's getting around that time, and we lost
Then-
Steve.
Then I am strolling back towards the
Yeah,
ship.
there's no more Steve in Skype.
No,
see.
not Steve.
I'll give him a second. I'm sure. That's okay. So, so now we're having a out of character moment here. I'm having. I've had not a terribly difficult time picking spells until I got to my 5th level. Holy shit! There's some good shit level. Some good role-playing exploitable shit. Like
Yes.
I can get animate objects where I can make a bevy of inanimate objects come to life and do my bidding.
Oh boy, it's gonna be fucking Fantasia all over the
I
goddamn
know, that's the
place.
first thing that came to my mind. I was like, because that just made me think about my ship. I'm like,
I just-
the mops are swabbing my poop bag.
I actually had the
Bow-
total thought. Go,
Bouchica?
it's like the one time that Dr. Vitus is actually like stunned by something. He just has that like shocked look on his face. Everything on the ship just goes clunk 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 clunk, falls down, stuff peels off because all his illusions stop at the same time. The ship is just replaced by like a leaky rowboat.
No, I'd say the ship is real. Just all the what propels the ship is magic. There's a lot of magic decor. Like there's a lot of candles with green flame. There's what appears to be a dead mermaid swimming around.
Well, while we wait on Steve to get back, you're coming up to the ship, so I'm gonna hold off on that because Steve's on the ship.
Absolutely.
Anna, what are you doing?
Well, I make my way back to the shop,
Okay.
and I'll go in it and look around and stuff and see if I can find that mysterious ghost or whatever. And I inspect it and I don't see anything. So I'll probably, just to stay out of the city proper area, I'll probably just take a seat in the lobby or in his little shop and just sit there and wait for him to come back.
Okay. So, roll me a perception check.
Do you want to wait for Steve before we progress game?
Yeah, that's why I'm talking to her and not Goat, since Goat was making his way to the ship. I figured instead of just waiting there.
By the way,
Hey, crap.
dildosity is a great word.
Alright, so there hasn't really been any loud. I'm trying to point you in that direction without GM pointing you in that direction. So you're looking around the shop, and there's a lot of stuff that really you're not sure what any of it really does, because none of it really has a clear purpose. It's a lot of just kind of random knickknacks and stuff, and you do find this wooden box that you can sit and mess with, and you're trying to get it open, and it's just not working, and that's kind of how you're going to spend your time in the shop, is messing with the box.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got actual metal gears in it, so there's a really nice tactile click every time you find a piece that moves, but they just aren't connected to anything.
Jackass.
Oh god, it's the world's worst Rubik's Cube.
I was gonna say that's how you trap a dragonborn. Here's a
No,
Rubik's Cube.
you peel the stickers off those things.
Alright, so Steve is restarting Skype, so we'll wait on him to get back before we
God,
progress.
5th level spells, dude. I've got animate objects, which is for RP purposes and potentially dungeon beneficial purposes. So good. Cloud kill. Fucking creation. Dominate.
Animate object would have been great for our last dungeon crawl. Let's just send a dancing mop down every corner first.
For real,
You know,
'cause
there have
it's
been a lot of people that have done that for Tomb of Horrors. They're just like, you know what? We're going to animate a whole bunch of undead, and we're just going to send them through ahead of us.
That's why
I can't animate
searching
corpses.
for
It's got to
jewels.
be objects.
Yeah.
But I get to choose up to 10 non-magical objects within range. So I can make a small room of knickknacks, become anthropomorphic
You
30s
need a sack
cartoons.
full of dolls and have them walk down them.
Oh god.
That is the best idea.
My God! So Dr. Vitus has now
Oh my
become
God.
the puppet master. He's
Yeah.
gonna have little,
No, 'cause
little,
I can
little,
totally. I
little
can
Guy
glyph
Fawkes
some
dolls walking around.
marionettes. Oh, I'm totally gonna glyph trap some marionettes and have them dance around, and if they're touched, they explode. No, that might be necessary.
How you doing, little man?
Huh?
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
talking to Liam. How you doing, buddy?
See, Liam is actually our secret defense master. It's distract GM
What's
plus
that?
5.
A little bit fine.
You're a little bit fine?
Little bit. That is going in the lexicon. A little bit fine.
A little bit fine.
Thanks, baby.
But yeah,
You
like,
guys
I got
a little bit
telekinesis. I can cast an insect plague. There's some good shit at 5th level. I don't know, and I only get to pick 2.
Ugh.
I mean, dominate person just totally works with my character. Like, telekinesis is
Brown Chihuahua.
great. Well, you know what I mean. But like,
What's your safe word?
ask Paul. The safe word is dildosity.
So that's why she's the ex-wife.
Yeah, if you look very closely at the dead mermaid, there is a wedding ring on her finger.
That's funny.
Nice. Nice.
The whole front of the ship, there's a word for it, but the idol on the front of the ship. You know what I mean?
I
You know what I
see
didn't
as
do?
someone with a nautical background, it just cracks me up. The idol at the front of the ship. Really? You mean